let's get to the Bible just in that same sense. The Church has defined what the interpretation of the Bible is for the Catholic Church.
Yes.
And yet today we have Catholics who take the Bible and try to share it together to find out what the Bible really means.
Well, that's quite mistaken, because we know what the Bible means as far as the Church has explained it. The popes have explained it. The popes have given us a lot of insights into the true meaning of the Bible. The popes have studied the Bible. The popes have had the Bible studied. The popes asked competent theologians to study the Bible, and then they approved their findings. But you see, that's a Protestant mistake to think that you find the truth in the Bible, just in the Bible. It's the sola scriptura of Martin Luther, the Bible alone of Martin Luther. The Catholic Church doesn't have that. The Catholic definition of tradition, as a matter of fact, you will find in the Council of Trent, and you will find again in the above quoted document of Vatican I, De Filius, where Vatican II defines as a dogma that the two sources of the sources of the faith are the written and the unwritten tradition. The written tradition being the Bible and all the approved books of the Bible, and the unwritten tradition being what the apostles heard out of the mouth of Christ and then transmitted to the faithful and their successors. So to give you an example for both, now the written tradition is exactly what several councils in a row and without contradicting each other have defined as being authentic Holy Scripture. That means the books of the Old Testament and the books of the New Testament. And the unwritten tradition, one of the best examples is the Assumption of Our Lady. It needed 1950 years until the Church, through the voice of Pope Pius XII, defined the Assumption of Our Lady with body and soul to heaven right after her death as a dogma. But the Church always believed it anyway. The dogma was just clarifying terms, but the Church always believed it. The apostles were witnesses to that. The apostles found her grave empty. So they transmitted what they saw. And this is the unwritten tradition in the Church. And it cannot change, because it was completed with the death of the last apostle. And see, that the whole problem today, I think the root of the problem is the mistaken concept of tradition. To call tradition something that can change, something that can grow with the study of the people, with the insights that the people have. It doesn't. Tradition is complete. Tradition is one and complete. The only thing the popes can do is deepen the understanding of it by defining terms that were not yet clear enough. And this is this root for the whole problem you can find in the famous document Ecclesia Dei, where in number 4 the present Pope accuses Archbishop Lefebvre and his followers of a wrong concept of tradition. Well, Archbishop Lefebvre and his followers were doing nothing else but quoting the Council of Trent and First Vatican Council on tradition. And if you read, which is something that I did, and if you read all the sermons and all the speeches that Archbishop Lefebvre ever gave, you will always find the same concept of tradition. And it's exactly the concept of tradition to be found in the First Vatican Council. And then the Pope says, no, this is wrong. Does that mean the Pope is talking about new doctrines? Yes, he does. In the same Ecclesia Dei document, he mentions the new aspects of doctrine. He says there are some people who cannot get along with the teachings of Vatican II because some of the aspects of this teaching are new.